My manhood is missing. I can't feel my manhood again, a man cried out in the dark night. His voice trembled with fear. One by one, other men in the village of Agoda began to say the same thing. Some clutched their stomachs, others fell to their knees. It was as if something invisible had stolen their manhood. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. The women of Agoda woke up to the sound of men groaning. When they asked what was wrong, the men could not explain. They just shook their heads, weak and helpless. By morning, it was clear that something terrible had happened. None of the men could work on the farms, climb trees for fruits, or even carry firewood. It was as if their manhood had disappeared overnight. The once lively village became quiet. Agoda, a place full of laughter and joy, was now filled with whispers of fear. The women gathered in small groups, wondering what had caused this strange sickness. The elders called a meeting at the village square to find a solution. "We must figure out what is happening," said Elder Adoji, his face serious. "The future of our village is at stake." But no one had an answer. That was until someone mentioned Baba Okoli, the wise herbalist who lived deep in the forest. Baba Okoli was old, with a long white beard and a cane made from a sacred tree. He was known for solving mysteries and speaking to the spirits. A small group of villagers went to see Baba Okoli. They explained what had happened, and Baba Okoli closed his eyes and listened to the wind. After a long silence, he opened his eyes and said, "The spirits are angry. A woman in your village has brought this curse. Her heart is filled with pain and anger. Until she forgives, the curse will not be lifted." The villagers were shocked. A woman? Who could it be? They returned to the village and began to think. It wasn't long before their thoughts turned to Blessing. Blessing was a woman who had come to Agoda a few months earlier. She was very beautiful, with skin that shone like gold and eyes that sparkled like stars. She said she had come from a faraway place because her home was destroyed. The kind people of Agoda had welcomed her. At first, Blessing seemed like a wonderful addition to the village. She helped the women fetch water, played with the children, and danced at festivals. But some people noticed strange things about her. Animals avoided her, and her shadow sometimes looked bigger than it should. The elders called Blessing to the square and asked her, "Are you the one who has cursed the men of Agoda?" Blessing smiled, but her smile was cold. Then she began to laugh, a laugh that made everyone's skin crawl. Her eyes glowed red as she said, "Yes, it was me. Long ago, your ancestors hurt my family. They took our land, left us with nothing, and caused my people great suffering. I have come to make you feel the same pain." The villagers gasped. "Blessing, please undo the curse," they begged. But Blessing shook her head. "No. The men of Agoda will remain powerless until I am satisfied." She raised her hands, and the wind began to howl. The trees shook, and the sky grew dark. "This is your punishment," she shouted. The villagers were terrified. They begged Baba Okoli for help. The old herbalist told them, there is only one way to break this curse. The men must truly say sorry for what their ancestors did. The women must promise to treat others with kindness and peace. Blessing's heart is full of pain, and only forgiveness can heal it. That night, under the bright moon, the entire village gathered at the shrine. The air was cold, and everyone was silent. The men and women knelt before Blessing, tears streaming down their faces. "We are sorry," the men said. "Even though we did not hurt your family, our ancestors did, and we are truly sorry. Please forgive us." The women also spoke. "We promise to live peacefully and treat everyone with respect. Please let our husbands and sons be free from this curse." Blessing stood there, her face hard like a stone. Then, slowly, her expression softened. Tears rolled down her cheeks. "I never wanted to hurt the innocent," she said. "But my family suffered so much. I wanted you to feel my pain. Let this be a lesson to everyone: hurting others only causes more pain." Blessing joined Baba Okoli in a special prayer. They mixed herbs and chanted ancient words. Suddenly, a bright light filled the shrine. The wind stopped, and everything became calm. The curse was broken. The men of Agoda felt their strength return, and they cheered with joy. They hugged their wives and children, promising to never let such a thing happen again. Blessing stayed in the village and became a healer. She used her powers to help people instead of hurting them. From that day, Agoda became a peaceful place where everyone treated others with kindness and respect. And the story of Blessing became a lesson for generations, a reminder that forgiveness and love are stronger than anger and revenge. My manhood is missing.